Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am, you are not, and that's all right with me. Is that all right with you? How you doing, guys? I'm thinking about a pastrami sandwich with some Swiss cheese, maybe some Thousand Island dressing, maybe a little bit of sauerkraut. Can you name that sandwich? 2 words or less. It is not a Reuben, folks. It would be a Rachel. A Reuben is with corned beef. This is pastrami on rye. Yeah, guys, that's where I'm going with my head tonight. How you doing, guys? Listen, there was a video that came out with Justin that I caught on Renelle's World channel. So it was something that she was showing, and I wanted to respond to it. But this is a guy named Justin. I believe he's on TikTok, and I give him a lot of credit. I think he did a really good job with this interview. He made Fancy look terrible, but that's easy. He did a great job, I thought, and Ken spoke, and that's going to be his downfall. When anyway, guys, let's listen up and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but we are. Let's go.
There, we went live from the billboard, and that happened all within a 5-10 minute time frame. However, we were not going to be in that area for the night. So again, that wasn't me lying.
Okay, so I guess what happened here was Ken was saying that he had told people he wasn't going to be on Bourbon Street. And here's the thing, don't really hold him to his word because he can't see into the future. And actually, Gypsy was going to go and meet some people that were going out with her and they happened to be on Bourbon Street. When he said that, he was saying he didn't have any real plans to be or go at Bourbon Street. They were going to go meet and catch up at this other club in the Gulf, or it's a club or a bar, the pub that has to do, the name had something to do with, is it Gulf 409 or something? Gulf meaning Mexico, the Gulf of Mexico. So, so that's what he's saying is, I didn't lie. You got to give me a little bit of grace here because we weren't going there. Gypsy just happened to go there en route to something else. So, nah, who cares? Who cares?
That was me telling y'all that the billboard might as well be in anywhere. I mean, I just said Iowa, could have been Detroit.
So in other words, he was saying that the billboard was a waste because it was in a place that Gypsy wasn't really going to go and see, and people weren't going to hang out in those clubs. Here's the thing. The billboard was a PSA, in my opinion, and it was fine and dandy right where it was. And the fact that Gypsy saw it, kudos. So, and the fact that other people saw it and that maybe those people that didn't know, maybe there's a few people that didn't know about Gypsy, and that billboard made attention. And maybe some people started looking it up, or people saw it in a different light. Even those people that thought they knew about it, maybe the true narrative is now coming out. So that's Ken's opinion, that the billboard could have been anywhere. It wouldn't have mattered, but it does. If it mattered to one person, it mattered.
It doesn't matter. The point is we're not going to be in that area.
I understood.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's what I was saying.
Okay.
And
it just happened.
Yeah.
Okay. And I understand that. Okay, so basically you had no...
I believe this phone call or this live is while he's in Miami with Gypsy. That's what I think is going on here, because it was like a couple days ago. I think they were coming back from Miami today is what Gypsy had said. So I think this while he's on vacation with family, enjoying, he's doing a live stream with Justin here.
Plans to go down there, but it just kind of circumstantially ended up down there, maybe out of curiosity, or just kind of did a...
Okay, so this is of no real importance to me. What he's basically just saying is, I guess people called him a liar for being where the billboard was, and he's saying, listen, that wasn't my plan to go there. We happened to go there en route to go somewhere else. This is just bullshit. I don't need this. You could check it out. Of course, I'm not going to take the whole video from Justin. Please check it out on his channel. I'm going to remember to have the link below. And also Renelle Smith, man. Renelle is where it's at. Renelle is my pal.
Thing that I'm concerned about, just...
And because of what she went through as a child and into...
Okay, so
and stuff like that. I'm not against you. and clarified some of this, because again, I don't know both sides. I can only
I'm happy to.
seeing, and again, there's a lot of influence.
So Justin is saying, listen, man, you're clarifying things, you're putting things in context. Okay, great. So you just didn't mean that the billboard should be anywhere that you lied about where you were going to be to throw us off, which would be okay too. You can try to throw people off, especially if you know something's coming and you don't want it. There's nothing wrong with throwing people off. Just, be honest when you're found out. Come to truth when you're found out
and stuff like that. I'm not against you. I'm not against anything. And I've always said from day one that your daughter is like the number one thing that I'm concerned about. Like, just, I know you. Again,
can I ask you why you're concerned about my daughter? Just human to human. Why are you concerned about my daughter?
Just because of,
you don't know how to put a car seat or buckle her into a car seat. You speed. You go out drinking. And Gypsy has something to do with it too. Yeah.
Knowing the kind of things that Gypsy's been through and the kind of personality traits that I personally see in Gypsy, I don't think she's a direct danger or anything, but
I think she is, just by neglect, sheer neglect. Just like when you said when Ken said to her, babe, don't let the baby sleep on your chest. And she was like, I never. And then he was like, except for last night. See, an accident like that, maybe you don't get a second chance, God forbid. So, yeah, she is. And you guys have put it out there. Ken, Gypsy, you put it out there. Your speeding is put it out there. The not putting the baby in the car seat correctly is putting it out there. The stuff that was in the car that was loose that could have come and hit her in the head. The stuff on the crib. Guys, on the railings of the crib, come on. Gypsy, the fact that you made that video to get Ryan to feel guilty to go home when you were saying she had colic and you were just sitting there doing nothing. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Should I go on? And the fact that you unalived your mom and you're completely a selfish narcissist, which is okay. I get it. Same word, more or less, but come on.
It's
okay.
It's more about just like.
Just allow me to say this.
Okay.
There are a lot of opinions that are garnered of Gypsy because of her past and because of
not just her past, Ken. The fact that she cannot put the baby in the car seat correctly and that you don't even bother to help with that, and you're speeding and there's stuff in the car that could be flown around and hit her. That's not the past. That is here and now. And the past, but there's valid stuff here and now that's a valid concern.
What she went through as a child and into adulthood in prison, etc. However, she has transformed. And
you know what she went through in prison. You're seeing and hearing the FOIAs now if you have a real interest in what she was doing. She was into financial domination. She had people sending her money so that they could call her goddess. She was sending pictures for money, it appears. She was asking people to be sex slaves for money. When should her future start? When should the present begin? Because, I mean, I understand, again, giving somebody grace, but there's no change here. The behavior is continual. It's continual, Ken. It's continual.
And this is coming from a person, obviously, who knows her as, in the real world. And no disrespect, but you and a lot of your followers and a lot of other people have never met her on a real case scenario. They judge her.
Okay, so let me just say we judge her for what she puts out to us in the world. She has a few platforms where she puts herself out in the world, drunk with fuck you haters and all that, but lies after lies. When somebody brings up her mom, you know how the first time that I kind of thought, anything about her mom was in the FOIAs when she said that she missed her mom. Why let somebody believe all these horrible things about your mom when you could change the narrative. But Gypsy doesn't want to change that narrative because then it makes her look bad. I'm not in love with her. I don't even like her. But I did like her. I thought, not that I liked her. I had no real opinion of her. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I thought she was a survivor of Munchausen by proxy until I started listening to her. You know, I'm not in love with her. So when I listen to her, it's with my ears, not my eyes. You might want to try that, Ken.
Based off of what they've seen and heard online, and a lot of which is misinformation.
She's put that stuff out there. Her behavior is what she's put out there, Ken.
Now, I will tell you that as the father of Aurora and as the partner of Gypsy, she's an incredible mother. And I'm not.
Again, I could argue that easily by showing you guys that you don't put her in the car seat correctly, that you're speeding, that you have loose items in the car that could hurt her. You put things, or Gypsy has put things on the side of the railing of the crib that could fall on her. Gypsy has fallen asleep with the baby on her when she could easily roll over.
I'm not telling you that you have to agree with me or even accept what I'm saying, but she's an incredible mother. You know, her past does not affect her motherhood, and that she is, I couldn't be more proud.
She unalived her mom. You don't get to get rid of that in this lifetime. That's something that will always be in this lifetime, Ken. Always.
You know, to have my family where it's at. And Gypsy is not her past. She is not, you know, what y'all think of her because of her crime, etc. She is an extremely nurturing, caring, and loving
Okay, I cannot listen to this without wanting to throw up.
Mother. And Aurora is not, could not be in a better and safer place.
Keep telling yourself that.
And of course, that's coming from me, and you can take that with a grain of salt. You can have your opinions, but that is the reality of my life. You know, I don't see anything negative about what's happening in my family, and Aurora could not be more taken care of. And a lot of these snarkers and haters want to weaponize CPS against us or weaponize the general audience.
It's your wife that weaponizes the shit against you. Did you not see the FOIAs? Do you not know what's being said behind your back? You do, because that comes up too.
Against us. But the truth is, you know, you're taking resources away from actual traumatized children and actual hurt children to attack us because you don't like us for whatever reason you may have. But the reality,
she unalived her mom, threw Nick under the bus, and is destroying her mom's legacy.
She's in a very well, happy, and taken care of home. She's healthy. She's growing. She's
not growing very much.
She could not be in a better place. So, you know, this billboard, if you have an opinion of her as a person, that's fine. But to attack her as a mother, you have no idea what kind of mother she is. You haven't been around to see it. Okay?
Yeah, again, the things I mentioned before.
And because I am, and because I care and love, obviously, 100% about the safety of my daughter, she is in a very happy and loving and taken care of household. And that's all that there is to say, you know.
Okay.
You know, and I'm not coming for you specifically.
In general, I understand you're saying this in general, but like, you know, so far everything that in fact, one thing I've always said about you in my videos is like, I think Kane, just from the outside looking in, you seem to be information that everything I do is a net negative to see on TikTok, which is an overall negative. Because the world is a negative place, and they just want to attack without even knowing anything truthful of the person they're attacking. And when
it's a little hard right now, but it's not a negative place. We're saying things about Gypsy. I'm saying things about Gypsy that I saw. That's valid.
Whenever they get information that might be positive, they put that on the back burner. But as soon as they get negativity,
it's a drama thing. So people have to live their own lives aren't really good, and they try to sort of I guess you could say they kind of project it into places that aren't their own.
For sure.
And I was in the music industry. Trust me, I went through that kind of crap myself, and it's just like you got to try to deconstruct the noise as much as
anything truthful of the person they're attacking. And whenever they get information that might be positive, they put that on the back burner. But as soon as they get information that could possibly be negative, that becomes their truth, because they want to live in their revelry of negativity.
It's a drama. It's a drama thing. So people like have to live their own lives on really good, and they try to sort of, I guess you could say, they kind of project it, and you got to try to deconstruct the noise as much as you can. I think the biggest thing that I've seen personally about Gypsy's overall, persona is just the lack of accountability. She where she still thinks because she didn't wield the weapon that somehow it makes her less culpable. In fact, I did a video where it showed people that got the worst sentences out of anybody in the case, where they just hired the hitman or they hired somebody to do it. They didn't wield any weapons, but they got the worst of the sentences. And we could talk about that case all day long, but it's just I think the biggest part that had people have problems with her is the fact that she's just and plus also, I'm not sure if you can answer this for me, but I can't get anyone that supports Gypsy to answer this.
This is a great question. We have all asked it, I believe. He does a great job, and Ken skirts the issue.
If her entire narrative is to be believed, that she had to have someone come take her mom out of the picture to get out of that life of abuse, then why is Nick the villain? Shouldn't he be the hero in this? Didn't he come in and slay the dragon?
And that I'm sniffling because of this and that. And that's just the Snork brain mentality. They're so overconsumed with misinformation, garbage, and trash information that everything I do is a net negative to them. They can't see that I'm just a human being. I'm a person. I'm a real human being, and I'm a father. And of course, all that I want to do is take care of my child, be a partner to Gypsy, and raise a family. Regardless of her past, my past. It doesn't matter. We are where we are now, and we're in a good place. And you can have an opinion that differs, and that's fine. But the only point that I'm trying to make is, and again, this is no disrespect to you or anyone else, but you guys don't know us personally. So all that you can do is construct your opinion.
Where's the answer? This guy is asking a legitimate question. Where is the answer here? Because it's a legitimate question.
I think the biggest thing that I've seen personally about Gypsy's
guys, this is a great question.
Overall, persona is just the lack of accountability. She where she still thinks because she didn't wield the weapon that somehow it makes her less culpable. In fact, I did a video where it showed people that got the worst sentences out of anybody in the case, where they just hired the hitman or they hired somebody to do it. They didn't wield any weapons, but they got the worst of the sentences. And
see what we've all asked this. Now he's asking Ken.
We could talk about that case all day long, but it's just I think the biggest part that had people have problems with her is the fact that she's just and plus also, I'm not sure if you can answer this for me, but I can't.
This is a brilliant question. We've asked this.
I can't get anyone that supports Gypsy to answer this. If her entire narrative is to be believed, that she had to have someone come take her mom out of the picture to get out of that life of abuse, then why is Nick the villain? Shouldn't he be the hero in?
And we've asked this, right? We've asked this.
Didn't he come in and slay the dragon for her?
I cannot put myself in the mind of a sheltered abuse victim like Gypsy was. Right. But I can only imagine that somebody who was a sheltered abuse victim, and there are a lot of people that say that Gypsy was never abused, that her mom never abused her because of this microdeletion thing. That's 100% just bullshit. Okay.
What? Her mom shouldn't have treated the microdeletion. What?
And I'll tell you why. Because regardless of the microdeletion or not, there is...
The microdeletion knocks out the Munchausen by proxy. There's no objectivity here. None at all when it comes to Ken. The microdeletion and trying to cure that, because they didn't know that that's what it was right away. So they're trying to cure something that they don't even know what they have so far. And then they find out what it is, but they don't know which microdeletion it is. So they have to even work it more. I think in 2011 was the first time that it was actually diagnosed correctly. So that's the microdeletion knocks out the Munchausen by proxy, which was her defense for the MURDER. What do you mean it doesn't matter? That's the stupidest thing. I can't believe how stupid That came out of your mouth. Did you hear it, Ken?
No excuse for, one, her mother forcing her to sit in a wheelchair knowing that she could walk.
And Gypsy had admitted in transcripts that she told her mom she had no feeling in her legs because after some sort of procedure, she says the doctor told her she had a seizure and that she had lost feelings in her legs, but she would get it back. And Gypsy didn't tell her mom. Gypsy did not, and Gypsy said she didn't tell her mom that she had feeling back in her legs. What part of that didn't you hear, Ken?
Form of child abuse.
Correct.
Her mother,
yeah, that's parent abuse there.
Pulling her out of school when she is totally articulate and can learn.
I really think that because of behavioral issues, that's my guess. I don't believe that she was pulled out of school just to be pulled out of school. She might have been pulled out of school because of her ailments that were legitimate. Would you be involved with somebody who was blind now? Because if she didn't have the eye surgery, she'd be blind now. Would you be around somebody who still has a problem with her salivary glands? Because chances are she'd probably be dead, choking on saliva. Let's be real. You think you know something because you believe somebody's lie, a version of something. What about all the other lies? Don't you ever hold her accountable? What's wrong with you? I'm just asking.
That's a form of child abuse.
Correct.
Her mother putting a feeding tube in her, knowing that she can eat.
There's medical records that Gypsy had said that somebody had noticed, a doctor or a nurse had noticed that Gypsy was very dramatic with her eating and often spit things up more for attention. What about that? What about the fact that Gypsy was more than thin? How about the failure to thrive? Again, part of the microdeletion. I bet you're going to start using the microdeletion for excuses like her hypersexual sensitivity. I bet you're going to start using that for when you need it. And she's going to use the microdeletion for when she needs it. But right now, it's just not convenient.
Child abuse. So those are all forms of child abuse that were enacted by her mother.
But untrue. Totally untrue. Totally untrue.
Regardless, and people want to blame her and say that, oh, she was culpable. She was with her mother. She was raised and groomed by her mother to be that person. So to look at her and say she was a 22-year-old, she should have known better. Her 22-year-old version is not the same as anybody else's 22-year-old version.
You're right. It's more diabolical. She planned and she groomed somebody with a lesser mental capacity, a weaker-minded person, using coercive control to get him to unalive her mom. She could have just left.
When she was raised, manipulated, and conned to be, I can't speak on what Nick's sentence should be. At the end,
if everything that you said, and I believe it all, was true, why is Nick not the hero?
Again,
because
so now he's asked again, and he's stuttering over his words. Why?
Because if looking back at that time frame when she was in that position, that's what she thought was the only way out for her.
Yeah, but
and
2 years. This took place over 2. It wasn't just like a momentary lapse of judgment. This was planned over 2 years. This was 2 years of correspondence. I mean, I can understand like if it was
2 years of manipulation.
It was like in a momentary thing, like you're right. Where if it was just momentary and she at that time thought that this was the best for her and there was no other way out and she was pushed to her limit. But through the correspondences that we've seen, there's the Freedom of Information Act information. The correspondences go back up to 2+ years. So this wasn't exactly just talked about overnight. I think that's the part I'm having trouble with is the fact that, you know what I mean? That
well, I believe that Nick was in the same mentality as her, that he thought that it was the only way out for her as well.
No. Because Nick tried to get her to go with him. Nick tried that. That's in the transcripts, Ken. You cannot rewrite history like Fancy Maselli's trying to.
Well,
Well, no,
and
he asked, like, can we run away together? And he even asked one of his friends, his ex-girlfriend.
well, I mean, and like I said, I believe that Gypsy thought that that was the only way out for her because she had tried to run away before, and she had been, pulled back into the realm of the insanity that she was in. So I think that after all those things have happened, that she thought that the only way out was for her mother, was for that to happen. So it's unfortunate that Nick, agreed to it, but I think it was, like I said before, a tornado meets a volcano. It was
He didn't agree to it. He got overpowered, talked into for the crime by your girlfriend. Everything was planned out by your girlfriend. She went looking for somebody to unalive her mom when her mom could have never caught up with her. Gypsy could have overpowered her mom, and I believe wholeheartedly she did several times. Gypsy did this. This is what lives inside of the woman that has your heart, the woman that's the mother of your child. This is what lives inside of her. That's what's there, Ken.
did agree to do what he did, and he did what he did, and that's where we're at now.
Can Gypsy be angry with him for doing what she asked? That's the part I'm getting. That's the part I'm really having trouble with. Is the fact that, like, you know what I mean? She didn't ask him just once. It wasn't like this was a one time. There was a lot of emotions involved. There was a lot of pushing and pulling emotionally involved. There was a lot of, it can only happen this way, or we can't be together. Keep in mind, he was
manipulation. He's not going to own this, man. He's not going to own this shit. Ken, at least admit what you fell in love with. At least admit what you put your junk into to produce a child with. That's what you did. You can't rewrite the past. You married, or you're going to marry, the mother of your child is a mummy. Own it. Own it proudly. Guys, check out this interview. I think there's 2 parts to it, and we might do a second part to it as well. He's got a lot more grace than me, Justin does, because I'd have been right on. No, just answer the question. Just answer the question. And Ken, he can't. He doesn't have the ability to do that because there's nothing that is going to make any of us believe that this was something deserved or something acceptable, or that this was the only option. This was what Gypsy wanted to do. It was horrific. It was murder, and it was her mother, the one person that was always there for her. You see the pictures. Show me the one where Gypsy's miserable. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Take care, guys. Thank you.